call it the firing line, as I always do, and I'm just going to give you some names. You tell me what you think about them. I imagine you're going to think they're all great guys because I don't court the controversy that most people do. But the first one is, and if there's a story involved, please do tell me. The first one is Bam Bam Bigelow.
Went to school with him. He went to the Monster Factory. He got out of there before we did. As we were just getting in, he was getting out. Larry was going to Japan with him a lot. Scotty was a great person.
Best big man ever?
I would think so. Him and Yokozuna were very, very, for their size, they can move like 200-pound guys, especially Rodney. I mean, Rodney was 3-something. I mean, the last time I saw Rodney before he passed away, he had to be 900 pounds. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, he died the day before he was going to main event the very first wrestling show I ever went to, unfortunately. It was going to be him and Greg Valentine.
Yeah, it was a shame. Like I said, they already took, when I ran into him, he told me that New York took his license away from him.
Yeah.
They said he was unhealthy to wrestle. So.
Yeah, that's why he didn't go to WCW, because WCW wanted to bring him over as well, but he couldn't get a license in New York. And if you don't get a license in New York, you can't get it anywhere, basically, it seems.
Yeah, true.
Too Cold, Scorpio.
One of the best workers in the business. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. He's very underrated. He's amazing in the ring. The stuff he can do, the flips, the 450. I mean, he was the first to do these things. You know, he made it to now these young kids today are going in the ring doing some crazy ass shit. You know what I'm saying? That we wouldn't even think about doing back then.
Yeah, and he was a heavyweight as well. Not, he wasn't like 190.
No, he was over 200 pounds. You know, and I would tag up with him a lot in Japan. And we would go creeping all the time in Japan. We had a blast.
Tatanka, Chris Chavez, you worked with him early.
Yeah, I was with him with Vince Torelli. He was called Chris Chavis. And he was also in South Atlantic Pro Wrestling. Like I said, it was a breeding ground for Vince's guys. I mean, we were going to go to Vince. That's why we were there. The only reason why we didn't was New Japan came down and got us. You know, the Tokyo Joe came down, looked at us, and then he would send like the Malenko brothers in, the Fantastics in from Japan, and had us work against them. And this way he was able to check us out and see how we worked against these guys. And then he would come and visit and say, okay, I need more suplexes. I need more of this. I need more of that to get that style down in Japan. And I was like, fine, you know, I'm down with it. And when the time came, you know, they said, we want to bring you to Japan. We're like, awesome. Vince was going to sign us. And I said, look, if you can match the money that New Japan's given us, we'll come to you. And I won't go to Japan. And Vince said, no, you're not ready to make that kind of money yet. I said, well, Japan thinks otherwise. So we went to Japan. And I figured, you know what? There's so many guys in that locker room that haven't even been to Japan yet. And I'm already getting that chance to go. And I haven't even done anything yet. I said, if anything, it's just going to make us worth more money. So that's why we did it.
Yeah, absolutely. Axel and Ian Rotten, two pretty dissimilar people, I think, actually.
We had a good run with them. We had Loser Leave Town in ECW, you know, and we had to put the beating on them. You know what I mean? They were done, you know, so they split them apart. And that was because the Pitbulls beat them.
Well, it was Axel Rotten stayed and Ian Rotten. That's the last major thing he did, and then he ended up doing like a lot of hardcore stuff down in
he came back. I think he came back and they did that Muay Thai glass.
Yeah, the Taipei glassing, yeah.
And they had them go against each other because they would beat the shit out of each other, those two. Yeah, they were really hardcore. They were before their time.
Yeah. This is supposedly the funniest guy in the locker room, Brian Lee.
Oh, Brian Lee was crazy, man. Well, nicest guy in the world. He would do anything for you. He used to be at the hotel with no car. He'd call me up and be like, yeah, I need some liquor, man. So I'd go pick up some booze for him and I'd bring it to the hotel for him and stuff like that. Yeah. It was a 10-minute ride for me, so it was never a big deal.
Missy Hyatt.
Love her. Cool as hell. She managed us at one point. We've had a lot of managers in our time in the business, and Missy was one of them, and she was a good manager.
One person we never hear about, Hack Myers.
Great guy, man. It's a shame he passed away young.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the crowd in ECW. He would just punch you, and the whole place would be like, "Shot, shot." I mean, it was the weirdest thing. But in our company, the people loved it.
Mm.
You know, and he got a good spot. I mean, I don't know if he ever had a strap or anything like that, but he didn't need a belt. He was over like Rover, and he didn't even need a belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron and Don, the Harris twins.
Great guys. Like I had no problem with them. We would always work with them. And like I said, we had to change our style to work these guys that are 6'7" and 6'8", and we're 5'9" and 5'10". You know, so we would do a lot of rolls. You know, they put the big leg up, we roll underneath it. Then they turn around, we would hit them with a back spin kick. And, you know, we just made it work. So when we did go over, nobody could say, oh, that didn't look real. That didn't look possible. But once the match was done, people were like, oh, shit. Because they jumped on Hack one time after the match and tried to beat the shit out of him, man. So,
I'll give you a few more. Johnny Hotbody.
Good friend of mine at one time, man. I was tight with him going through school. We were going to school together because he was living in South Philly at the time I was. And we would drive together sometimes. And it's a shame too, because he was there for a while. And then he got in an argument with somebody and things just didn't work out, and Paul fired him.
Mm.
You know, and before you know it, like Tony Stetson and what's his name, the Iron Man, Tommy Cairo, like all these guys just started to leave, like they were letting everybody go. You know, because like I said, we were getting new talent coming in, and you know, even though they were originals, they were getting played out. You know, that's what I think happened.
Yeah, 911.
Great guy. Al was a big farm, strong motherfucker, naturally. You know what I mean? He's one of them guys that are farm strong. You know what I mean? Like they'll pick up a horse. You know what I mean? I remember Taz saying he wanted to beat him up, and I would look at Taz and say, "Bro, he'll kill you. I mean, you're a peanut. You look like this next to him." I'm serious. You know, I would never fuck with 911. He's too big.
Buddy Landell.
Awesome. I loved him. He was very funny. I just had one problem with him. We had a match in NWA, and we were doing a steel cage, and I shot him across the ring, and when I went to splash, he put his knee up, and it hit my knee, and he popped my knee. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, were you that afraid I was going to stiff you? You know what I mean? I wasn't going to stiff you. And that's what happened. That was the last time I ended up talking to Buddy.
Yeah. I'll give you two more then. Let's say JT Smith.
Great kid, man. He was very polite. I loved it when they put him in as the Italian, the FBI, and he was black, and he would come into the ring and go, yo, and he was a black dude, you know what I'm saying? So it worked out great, you know, and I was very thankful to him for dropping the TV belt to me, you know, so at least I became TV champion.